Well, hello everybody. It's me again. I've been digging for a couple hours here so I could provide you with a little more information about 33. I just did a video about 72 and I forgot to include a part. The galactic crown chakra is supposedly 72 inches above the head. And it got me thinking about 72 in inch form and what the inches mean. And you know, the inch was derived from, I guess, the pyramid inch, but I'm not sure the exact correlation or measurement, but it's kind of interesting that we divide everything into 12s, you know. I mean, we've got, everything's at 12 months, we devised a clock with 12 hours, so on and so forth, and so, you know, everything can be divided by 12. It makes it kind of interesting. But 33 is a fascinating number, so I'm going to try to get through this one without too much distraction here. 33 supposedly in numerology is the highest spiritual consciousness attainable. It represents that. 33 is considered a power number in you know, in numerology. So here's the 33 I've come up with, and everybody loves the number 33, and I've talked with a lot of people about it, and I've known the understanding behind the chakras, behind the vertebrae, behind the Freemasonry. So I wanted to know the deepest depths of it. So here we go. Amen. Amen. 33 is the numerical equivalent of the word Amen. And it's also the numerical equivalent of the star. It's the numerical representation of the Star of David. So there's some interesting correlations right there with religion. But here we go. Jesus. Well, there's 33 vertebrae, okay, in the spine, and that's an important one to know, because when you're climbing through the system of enlightenment, through the chakras, supposedly your spine is always represented by the staff, and we have the entwining snakes around the staff, the snakes, the serpents of knowledge. So we have Jesus died supposedly, now this is speculation on some parts, but according to some, he died in 33 AD at age 33. And during his life he performed 33 miracles. And this number just keeps coming up over and over. Now don't quote me on that part. These are just things that I've been writing down, things that I've been documenting as I study. In the Islamic prayer beads, they have usually 33 segments of 33. Sometimes they'll have 3 segments of 33. They'll have 33, 66, or 99. But interesting in that sense just by itself. Then there are the 33 degrees of Masonry, which everyone knows, and that's where the whole number, you know, gets interesting, because the 33rd degree would be the attainment of the knowledge of the Enlightenment. So it is a master number in numerology, and it's always been kind of an interesting one for me. But 33 in a book, in fiction, you know, 33, the number 33 led to the meaning of life in Dan Brown's The Lost Symbol, the book. I haven't read it myself, but you know, this has been utilized in literature for a long time. People are well aware. Al-Ghazali says that dwellers of heaven will exist eternally at age 33. The name Elohim, or Elohim, appears 33 times in Genesis. That's kind of interesting in its own right. Okay, there's a Virgin Mary. Virgin Mary was known as the Virgin of 33 in an 18th century image in Uruguay, and that's what they and the Pope visited. And there's some interesting things behind that one. And here's one I found out was kind of disturbing. 33 is a number that the Ku Klux Klan uses, because KKK, the numerology, the numerical equivalent for K is 11. So K plus K plus K is 11 plus 11 plus 11, which is 33. That one's kind of interesting in its own right. And then, of course, it's XXXIII in Roman numerology. That's kind of fun. Okay, somebody said that many modern assassinations have been committed on the 33rd parallel, and I haven't confirmed that, but I wonder if parallels really have anything to do with it. But you know, that was just another note. Supposedly, there are 33 turns in a complete sequence of human DNA. So not only do we have the 33 turns of DNA, we also have the intertwining staff with the serpents that is mimicking DNA, a representation with the circle of enlightenment, or you know, awareness on top. And we use this in the modern medical industry, you know, the paramedics, you know, the little symbol they use. So this one's kind of interesting, that the tree of life. Now, if you look at ancient literature, when you see the tree of life has well, it has 33 permutations of consciousness. Supposedly there are 22 paths, and it's the one where it has the little circles on it, and it has interconnected paths. I should have brought a symbol to show you guys, but there are 22 paths, 10 known or drawn Sephiroth, and 1 hidden Sephiroth, becoming 33 total. This is, supposedly there are 33 male and 33 female chakras, and so that in itself, you know, represents the spine too. And that's a very interesting concept, because the chakras don't really correlate to the spine directly, at least not the 7 major chakras. This one is kind of off the beaten path, but the vertebrae that support our heads is called Atlas. So Atlas holds up the world, our minds. Atlas. People can take it for what they want. I mean, I feel like kind of an idiot when I make videos like this, because I feel like I've avoided doing symbology or numerology because of the wide, vast difference of opinions of what things mean. But there are certain numbers that mean something, and I believe that numbers come with a price. When you start delving into any one number, you're going to find out some interesting things. In fact, someone asked me about Carpo 719 once, and for those who don't know, Carpo is a nickname for a game we used to play as kids, and I made it up on the spot. But 719 is my old address when I was younger, and I just used it because it was a good luck symbol or whatever. And I looked it up. 719 in spirituality has its own meaning as well in numerology. It's a very spiritual number, seeking knowledge and all these. It's very interesting how these correlations take place. So I'm fascinated by numbers, and I'm not going to do video for every number, but 33 and 72 are very important numbers. And there are a lot of people out there who, you know, have held this knowledge. In fact, I'm looking at my hand right here. I'm wearing these rings right now out of respect for my grandfather, who went through, became a 32nd degree Mason, and you know, that G, that compass, you know, in its own right, just thinking about the whole idea of how you reach 32. And it's pretty easy to get to 32nd degree Masonry, Freemasonry. You get there, and then you just kind of ride there. And if you become one of the select few, you attain the 33rd degree, which you're called to Washington, D.C., you take a test and go through these rituals. Regardless of whether people respect or hate Freemasons, that's not what I'm about. This is about the idea that these people have been holding knowledge for a long time, and 33 is very important to them. And one can only assume that that the idea of reaching a 33rd degree of Masonry, Freemasonry, is very closely related to attaining the 33rd, or the, I guess, the ascension beyond the vertebrae, beyond the 33rd vertebrae, to the mind, to the spirit, to the soul, to be able to reach for knowledge. And it's like Sir Francis Bacon said, knowledge is power. And that's another one of those terms that every time you hear it, you're going to come up with something different. And I've been back and forth about secret societies and hidden knowledge, and I used to be very outspoken against secret societies, because I believe that knowledge should be for everyone. Then you start looking at how people act and the behaviors of mankind towards one another, and the ignorance and the astounding things that people will do to one another, and you start wondering, is the knowledge necessarily a good thing for people who aren't ready for it? Because if humans are really as capable as we appear to be, of changing our own destinies and changing our worlds through suggestion and intent, then you know, the last thing we want is you know, billions of people practicing black magic to try to get what they want. Because magic is real. Magic is not something that came out of the Dark Ages to fool people. It's not the same as mentalism. Magic is real, and it can't be disputed by any modern means. It's something that it has nothing to do with making things appear or disappear. It's about putting intent towards resolution. And there's black magic and white magic. And they've often been quite confused with one another. But these numbers are utilized very strongly in all of these practices. And the occult knowledge has become a dirty word. And religions have found a way to convince the people that knowledge is not power, but that knowledge is sin. And that eating from the tree of knowledge is an act punishable. And therefore it's led to an entire modern day group of folks who believe that looking within oneself for truth is a horrible thing, that it goes against God, that it goes against truth. But every grain in my heart and soul tells me that's not true, that we're here to learn, we're here to educate ourselves. Otherwise, what else are we? We're just meat. You know, we're not a spirit within a meat sack. Our whole body is part of our spirit, and each one of us is here sharing, you know, knowledge and energy, and that's why I want to put videos out like this, to try to kind of, you know, there's a lot of beating around the bush about what these numbers mean, but we each have to decide for ourselves why they exist, what the meanings are behind these important numbers. And so 72 can be pretty easily distinguished by the fact that it's divisible by 12, and you know, it's a very interesting subject. So I'm off to find my next one. Don't know if I have any more numbers to do, but any requests? No, I'm going to probably continue on my planetary astrotheological search. So namaste to everyone, and it's a beautiful day out. I hope it's where you are, it's just as nice.